Yo, 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 yo. What's going on, everybody? In today's video, we're going to cover over the differences that it takes for us to both scale manually and scale automatically using automations moving into the year 2025. If you're new to the channel, my name is Tumai AI. And if you're watching it on any of the platforms, you'll find down below inside of the comment section a link to the article that we're going to be covering. And as I switch over to this screen so I can speak face to face to y'all, the topic that I really wanted to focus on today, given some messages that I've received from friends of mine when it comes to lead generation, is really how to automate lead generation moving into 2025, how to scale smarter moving into 2025. You see, the main problem that we have as business owners is number one, we feel like we have to go get leads and then we have to go deliver upon our service and product, and then no one continues to get leads. When the water in the village runs dry, we pick up the bucket, walk 50 miles to go get more leads. And then we come back to the village to go deliver on the product and service for those leads. You can tell that the problem with this is that when a channel runs dry, or when we're doing this manually, and if market conditions change, what happens is you destabilize the main lifeblood, the oxygen into the business that keeps you open and enables you to serve and add value on a day-to-day, month-to-month basis. So we're going to break that down. I'm going to go ahead and share screen on our website, which is oscale.ai. We run a software all-in-one CRM, which is integrated with AI technology. My specialty as an AI architect is to build chat agents and voice agents for business owners, specifically allowing them to scale on an automatic basis. Deploy once, enable once, and just plug and play once, allow it to do the rest of the heavy lifting. As I read this article, link down below inside the comments, both if you're watching this in Facebook, the link will be down below. If you're watching this on LinkedIn, the link will be down below. YouTube, the link will be in the comments as well. Scaling smarter in 2025, how AI-powered automation helps businesses grow without overwhelm. That was a breath. That was a bit of an overwhelm. So let's just kick off with what the main issue is. You want to scale, but lead generation feels inconsistent. Let me know if that resonates. You want to scale, yet sales take too long to close. I speak to business owners and they say that some of their sales cycles are 120 days plus. I was in finance previous to this. Come back to main screen. I was in finance and some of my sales cycles or life cycles there were close to 4 to 6 months, meaning you have to work a lot more upfront to gain trust, to enable people to purchase from you, to trust you with your finance expertise. So with that being said, what's the main indicator? What's the KPI? What's the metric that drives business? It's that you have the most amount of conversations at the top end of the funnel. If you speak to the most amount of people, things will naturally mature. Yet we're still lifting things in the back end, constantly chasing after prospects, constantly sending emails, constantly doing all the administration work. How can we scale when that is the case? When I think about scaling, I think about two things, right? We have to consider that how do we increase revenue and income in the business? And then how do we decrease expenses? How do we make the graph and chart look like this as we continue to grow versus the expenses growing at the same time as the revenue? You end up with business owners that have 6-figure, 7-figure businesses that are still not making any profit. So let's continue on with the article as I continue to read through. You feel like you want to scale, but customer engagement is hard to maintain. Churn rates are high. We're talking about retention. You feel that you want to scale, but juggling too many software subscriptions. That's the expense line that I just mentioned. We have subscription creep as the term that we have when we describe our tech stack. So what's the smarter way? How do we leverage new technology and become more AI enabled? I'm going to break down each department as we move through this. The first department starts off with marketing. Section 1, automating lead generation. Constantly getting leads into your business as the lifeblood or oxygen is so crucial. It's so important as a key skill moving into 2025. the marketplace is getting more and more competitive. So how do we stand out? All right, so the first key here is to recognize that we have to install a pipe system that's going to move water from point A into point B, being your village, versus using a bucket system where we grab and go, grab and go, grab and go. This means we have to have a pipeline where we are able to generate traffic from all 4 channels, at minimum 2 channels. You have 4 channels: warm traffic, cold traffic, your free traffic from social media and content creation, and you have paid ads. Out of those 4 on camera, the 4, if you can focus on, and you're starting out on cold and on warm being your referrals, your word to mouth in your existing lists, cold being never met the person, you're just emailing out to prospects, cold calling, door knocking, as an example. If you can open up those 2 channels, you've got 2 great channels, and it's manual work first off. Level 2 or phase 2 would be how to automate that. So how to do a cold email sequence, how to watch and analyze the data on who's opening up your emails, who's downloading your free value add, your free item, who's downloading that blueprint, who's getting that playbook. And when your software tells you that, it's a great time to pick up the phone and dial and call and make that cold call conversation happen. Introduce yourself. That's the first thing. Second thing, social media. You need a piece of software that's able to analyze your social media accounts, post out to your social media accounts. You need a strategy to effortlessly create blog articles, long form, short form, and be able to record the data, respond back to comments. How about this? What if we could have an AI chatbot trained on your personality, reply back to comments, send customers a DM, and then reply back to them with a free thing inside that DM without having to drive them to an external landing page? Yeah, that's possible. And those are some of the tactics that people are using moving into 2025. You can look at cases such as ManyChat as one of the pieces of software. ManyChat now is being introduced into our software as one of the leading ways to convert traffic at the top end of the funnel at that free content level. It's phenomenal. Let's talk about some more things. So that's marketing overall. You've got your SMS follow-ups. You've got your follow-ups for bookings. You've got your follow-ups and check-ins after bookings. There's so many little pieces there you can automate, or you can manually do yourself using an email account, replying back manually, setting up. Back in the days, we used to have, I'll come back to the main screen. Back in the days, I used to have a spreadsheet where it would have like day 1, day 2, day 7, day 14, day 18. And I would have all my emails written out in an Excel spreadsheet, and I would just insert the name, right? That was me automating to the maximum that I could at the time and with the tools that I had. But these days you can do that with a simple piece of software where it's very easy and it's enrolled, meaning the customer would trigger it and enroll it themselves, and it would fire off. There is a conversation around over automation and still keeping the human-human connection, human-to-human connection, and the personality or the person involved with each touch point. And we can talk about that as we move through the next couple of points. As I turn over back to the article, we have our second department being sales. AI-powered sales automation, close more deals faster. Okay, so a few things with sales. Number 1, I feel most important with sales is our ability to sell or have conviction and have bottled enthusiasm is the most important trait that humans can bring to the sales conversation. It is a human-human connection. That is to say that if I'm able to relate, build rapport, understand and diagnose the real problem on my call and recommend the right strategy, tactic, blueprint, playbook to run for that business, that's me being 100% engaged in that conversation. And in order for me to do that as a human being, as a person that's connecting with another person behind a business, I need to have the right amount of research, information, and setup. And I need to make sure that they show up on the call for all of that to happen. So I feel like there's a big opportunity area at that back end lead enrichment, prospect enrichment inside of your pipeline, number 1. And number 2, I also feel as if We don't want, I feel as if AI technology just isn't quite at that stage where it's able to have a fully connective, robust conversation at that sale point. So what we can do is we can automate all of the other things around that salesperson to ensure that they're fully recovered and available mentally in that conversation. They're 100% present to make the right recommendation and to make the connection with that business owner or salesperson, right? So that's my 2 points and 2 cents. I've written inside the article some other areas to consider. Even just being able to set up automated emails that answer objections and handle a lot of subconscious obstacles that might come up before they attend your booking, right? Before they jump on, you want to be able to answer those questions, and you want to get deeper into some of the other things that are important to them as a business owner. So that's the sales department. Next area would be customer retention. And you could almost refer to this area or this department as the operations department or the delivery department. Whether you're a product or a service, you definitely have an operations area where customer signs up for your product or service, or your service much rather. You've got to deliver, you've got to onboard, you've got to ensure that they're watching the training course or the information that you've laid out for them. And there's a whole lot of follow up, right? There's a whole lot of accountability around that in terms of coaching services or mastermind or so much more. Or maybe you're just an electrician, and your service that you have to fulfill is make sure you check that the electricity has been turned back on, right? There's a whole lot of follow up required inside of the services business, and equally the same for delivering a product. So if we come back to the article here, some of the areas that we need to automate would be getting feedback or asking for a review. If you want to develop your Google reviews and your ratings, that would be a great automation to focus on. Second area, if you want to nurture a customer long term and you want them to come back and purchase for the second time, and their purchasing cycle is every 12 months, well, you're going to have a check-in of 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and then, hey, let's look at the repurchase of whatever product that you're selling. Most businesses focus on getting new customers, but repeat customers spend 67% more than what the new ones spend. What's the problem? The problem is that businesses don't follow up. It's as simple as that. And creating a sequence, a nurture sequence that follows up regularly and that you can check to see if they're opening it. And then you can do a warm call just as a general, hey, checking in. How's business going on your side, Mr. Customer? That proves to be one of the most powerful places that you can automate and combine with a human to human connection. Moving on. Section number 4, we talk about how wasting money in software is what's blowing your bottom line out. Meaning, when we spend hundreds of dollars on subscription creep for a platform that will host your video, host your domain, post your video, give you analytics. Oh, by the way, you need to submit your website. Oh, and ClickFunnels over here. And we need Calendly to book the next appointment. Oh, and then I need to build a course, so I better go get a course building piece of software. When we set up our business like this, and I'm going to come back to the main video over here. When we set up our business like that, what we're doing is we're enabling our expenses to grow at the same rate as our revenue. When we start to creep all of the subscriptions and the prices, really, it becomes very difficult to find the ROI or your margin, your percentage of margin of how effective you are in the financial year. Meaning, there are businesses doing 6 to 7 figures or more that make 5 million in revenue and they spend 5 million in expenses. Meaning they have to spend $5 million in order for them to get $5 million worth of revenue generated inside their business. The effectiveness really comes down to the percentage rate of you being able to drive the expenses lower, replace perhaps staff member, renegotiate subscriptions, or wrap your entire software into one place so that you're not spending the $800, $900, $1,100, $1,200 per month for all of the software, but you're spending $297 with a team that I've curated to ensure that you get a bespoke onboarding system to ensure that you utilize a piece of software to maximize the growth of your business. That's what I'm passionate about. And this is why I'm breaking down the key areas of scaling for 2025. You see, I had a message this morning, late last night and this morning, where a market condition changed for a business owner. And if I'm to be real and raw with you, what really gets me is that it's not that difficult to plug up automations where we can secure lead generation, drive expenses down, and ensure that you have regular customers, prospects coming in. What blows us away is the inevitable chaos that the marketplace has. And I mean that, I really mean the word inevitable, is that you can expect for something to go wrong. The GDP numbers to be terrible, for our currency to not compete very well against the American dollar. You can expect for the Reserve Bank to change interest rates. Oh, shock, surprise. It's like as if they haven't given us another update that's been different. There is going to be market changes that you cannot influence as a business owner, but the things that you can control is building a pipeline that can ensure that your business stays alive. The things that you can control is ensuring that you have a robust nurturing system and where you're connecting with your contact list, whether it be a contact list of 500 people. Another business that I spoke to has a customer base of 150 people, and she focuses on them, and that's her entire business. Moving into the next financial year, she's wanting to grow that list from 150 people to 300 people, right? So it's really about optimizing the areas that we can, we can scale inside the business. And the key areas are in your marketing, your sales, your operations delivery, nurture sequences. That's where you're going to get the most return on, the most bang for your buck is what us Australians say. So just to wrap up, a few last things as I go through and share screen. We have to talk about staff. You ain't a business if you haven't hired any staff. So what you're going to find here is that staff hiring costs are going to be surging as we start to compete in a marketplace where we're constantly hiring more and more talent from overseas. And then you've also got virtual assistants in Philippines. You're probably in one or two different positions. Number one, you've hired staff nationally or inside of Australia, which is great for our economy. Well done. Thank you. You're doing your job as an entrepreneur, business owner. Or number two, you really need to leverage some of the administration tasks. And so you've outsourced some of your services or some of the tasks to a virtual assistant, which is great as well. You're still expanding. It's for a drastically reduced price, but you're still able to get some of the tasks completed on a day-to-day basis. All right. The third area that you haven't considered is that for pennies on the dollar, you can automate a lot of the administration tasks. I would say bar one or two items such as editing content. I really want more control of that. So I make sure that I don't systemize or automate that or AI tech geek that process out. And a few other things like responding back to customers and ensuring that your salespeople or yourself show up for your bookings or your sales conversations. But mostly everything else can be automated or can have some sort of artificial intelligence set up so that the business owner wins at the end of the day. We want to leverage business so that it's enjoyable for the business owner, so that every time that they have a customer, they are enjoyable in terms of their presence. So that's it for today's video. Again, my name is To My AI. Thank you so much. This is the song that I've been listening to lately that's pretty gangster. It's kind of the vibe that I want to bring through, so I'll just bring that one through. Thank you so much, yo. And this is To My AI signing out. Enjoy the music.